Well, hello everyone. Today is a grand day because we are getting down and learning how to make heavy tech house like Mochakk. This is one of my favorite guys from Brazilian house, super heavy, super sub focused. I just want to show you guys some tips and tricks on how to make the sub bass, the main rhythm sub, and all the different elements as well. The full project will be in my Patreon, so if you want that, it will be in there. Otherwise, let's check out this track and let's see how it sounds first. You know what it is. That's basically the breakdown, and you already know we're going to go into another drop. The mix and master is pretty loud. I do want to show you right away how loud we're pumping this for this house song. Not loud compared to a dubstep song, but if you see here, really trying to push like -7. I know it's showing -8. -7. The sidechain group does have a multi-band dynamics on it and the washout. The master has a more high-end multi-band dynamic, something minimal, just to give it more high-end. Subs turned off here. Cool, so the main things I want to show you here are these rhythm basses. Nice little tech house rhythms. I do use a lot of automation too to turn on and off, like low cuts. And this is the sub here. So that sub mixed with both of them. If you see here, the sub and the rhythm basses are delayed 7 milliseconds. So these are not perfectly on time, but the drums are kick and kick, cat, clap. I'll show those later. First, this rhythm bass. This is going to be a mid layer. Sounds like this. And the high layer. So mid frequencies, high frequencies, it's really what it's focused on. If you look, this mid layer is an operator. This operator has 2 oscillators turned on. This one is barely turned on. This one's at -10. Course 1 finds 0. -18 for the second B. 0.5 is the course. 0 fine. -18 decibels is the level. C is -69. Nice. Decibels. Course 0.5. So look, this one is a sine. This one is a sine. This one is a sine. But they all have different release times. If you see here, the release is changing. So C is 6-8 seconds release. B is standard 60 seconds release. And then the first oscillator, A, is 159 milliseconds release. These are the different sine waves that are pumping through here. And then right here, this is how we're routing it. We have one voice moving all the way up. Volume's at 0.6. Transposing at -12. The glide is on 79.4 milliseconds. That's going to be about it. But that's going to be the main like sine wave. Then we're going to add effects. This is what it sounds like for. Then we're going to add a drum bus. Drive wet 100%. Boom 16. Drive 14%. Adding some grit. This would be for sidechain compression. We're not using it. Let's EQ8. Taking out the high frequencies. Letting these play. Kind of cleaning it up. The other layers for the highs, so this is why we do this. We go over here, just make sure it's mono. The high layer. You see here the levels are different. This one's negative 22, negative 19, and negative 12. This time we introduce oscillator D, negative 18, another sine wave. We're basically just introducing higher harmonics. This course is 1, this is 1, this is 2, this is 1, level 0, transpose is 0, glide is off, voices are on 1, filter is on, barely doing anything at 18.5 kilohertz, 20%. This isn't doing anything, this utility is just making it mono, and then this is just letting the highs play. We're cutting these lows here. So this is the high layer. Both together sound like this. If you look, we have group them together. We add this pedal. So pedal off, pedal on. Really making it louder, adding some distortion. This is on overdrive mode. Sub is turned on, 81%. To clean it up, we'll use this mid dip here. Large band pass, just slice it through, and then we go ahead and cut it pretty heavily at 180. Why do we cut this? Because the sub is going to control this space, this area. So we make sure the rhythm bass is controlling the highs. And then the mid layer is like controlling this little section. Then this is a Haas rack. This chain here is empty. This chain is playing the dry signal, which is mono. This is the wide signal. We're doing parallel processing. This is the Haas rack. This one has the Haas effect, which makes it wide. If you see here, you can see how wide it is. This is what the Haas effect is doing, making it wide like that. If we turned it off, it goes mono. Turn it on. Gets wide, yeah. This wide signal, we blend in with the mono signal to get a full stereo image. So this bass is going to be controlling the mono with the highs on this layer, and then the sub layer above it will be controlling the lows. So the bass is technically a stereo bass, but you know, most of its beef is going to be mono, which is the sub and everything else. So that's what's going on when you hear this sound. If we turned off the wide signal, that's what it sounds like. So the wide signal does a lot. It's awesome. Very fun. This utility just turned it down, -2 decibels, just slightly. Then if we go ahead and check out the notes, we are writing in F minor. So this is on the root note, the home note. It goes kick and then sub. That's how we're making the rhythm. It just repeats over and over right there. And then when we get to this section, I just do that. Just take out the fast sections and just let it run a little bit. So those are the notes, just so you know. The sub is going to be this tech house sub here, you know, serum sine wave. The sub is turned on here. The oscillators are turned off. The LFO is on the level, going all the way up. This is the shape on trigger, half rate. On the FX, we only have distortion on drive 69 naturally. Mix is on 80%. Soft clip, very fun. Noise is off, don't worry about that. So this is simple sine wave, right? We're not pumping it too crazy. This isn't dubstep. This is just the house music. So we're doing clean, fat. We have this pedal on the sine wave, a saturator on the sine wave, and then we have these notch EQs to clean the sound. So we'll listen to it. This is what it sounds like without post-processing. Very weak sub, you know what I'm saying? Keep in mind this is -7. Turn on the pedal. %63%, mids all the way down, treble all the way down, bass is on 35, sub is turned on, very important. Output's -2. We do this because we're pumping it with the saturator. 13.7 decibels on soft sine. Off, on. So this is pumping a sine wave, very clean. If this was on analog, we get a similar sound, medium curve. We have different settings. It shows soft sine. We have this to then clean it up. We take out all the mids. This EQ8 at the end is basically just cleaning it up at 100 hertz. So if you want to listen to the saturators again, you can now tell the difference. Look, that's analog. That's sine. Medium. Then we just clean it up with this EQ8. Is at 70 hertz. We're only letting the lows go through. And I just use this to monitor how loud the sub is. It was at -9. That's cool. It's at -9, but we turn this down, -7. It's delayed 7. If we go to the lows bus, this is the final actual output, and then we turn down the lows -3 even more. And you'll see the end LUFS for the sub is -18. And that's going to be how loud our sub is for this song, -17. Good thing to keep in mind, that's going to be the sub, that's going to be the rhythm bass. Most important part. If you see here, during the drop, that's when we play the sub. But during the intro, we like tease the rhythm bass. And in the lows here, I automate it. So at the beginning of the song, you'll see it's cut, low cut for all these sounds. We don't feel any bass at the beginning because when the drop hits, that's when it should be impactful. We should feel that sub and that bass, but we still want to feel the rhythm and kind of dance to the rhythm and have it be teased to us before the drop hits. So that's kind of how and why we're doing this. Right? If you hear, we have some melodies in the background. If I turn these off, you'll hear how empty everything sounds. Little background arps. These are super sick. We're using the auto filter to really filter these in and out, in and out. Sometimes we open it up like this section. When I'm making these arps, I just try to get a polyphonic synth like this. This is like a pluck. Anticipation of energy pluck. So it used to sound like this. This is a pluck. And then when you add the arpeggiator, I put it down, I put it on swing, and I change the rate to 116 to make it go fast. This is slow. This is fast. The velocity has it like automatically change of volume. If we put it on random on 22, it's randomly changing the volume of each hit That's really helpful. Some are loud, some are not loud. It's just making it sound more psychedelic, more human. The phaser is making it move, making it sound crazy. This EQ has lots of resonances just to make it, just to give it some oomph, you know what I mean? Off, on. Auto pan is making it go left, right, and just having it go crazy. And then we use this EQ to clean it. We're taking a lot of the mids here, cutting it at 100, boosting some highs. Like I said, the auto filter is just moving in and out. And with this ARP, we have 3 layers. This is the regular layer. We have a high layer. An extra layer. So I'll just get different patches, you know. Just random different patches that sound good together. I'll combine them as long as they sound good together. I'm going here, add a little bit more auto pan, go to serum effects. You can add some cool, like a cool filter to put it in a cool space. That's what I did here. Really just blend that ARP in with the song. The kick, you see here. Taiki New Light kick. I do filter it a little bit in some sections, so at the intro, it's filtered so you don't hear the bass as much. Then when the drop comes, you can feel the bass more. I do use an actual EQ to filter out the frequency so you can hear what that sounds like. So when it's building up, the kick is filtering out. And then when the drop comes, yeah. You know what it is. So the clap. So basically, I'm gonna pick a cool clap. It doesn't even really matter what clap it is as long as you like it. But the main thing here is like, we have to make it. Originally, it was here. Look at how it's pretty wide. So I make it more mono with this. I like make it more mono. I make this mono, the clap. The kick is mono. And then the hat will be more mono too. So with the imagery you can see here, it used to look like this. All the way wide, and then we'll make it more mono. Just really tighten it up, bring it in. The main thing with these hats, Mochakk always is doing like tight hats, you know? Not big. See, I use the fades here to tighten them up. It used to sound like this. I really tighten it up here. And use the EQ to clean it up. Take a lot of these frequencies out. Just let the highs be dominant. And then hybrid reverb. Very minimal hybrid reverb. 200 milliseconds of decay on convolution. Made for drums on winery. Dry and wet's on 12%. Stereo is low too at 32%. Because we don't want too much stereo here. That's the drums that help, that work, and that I've seen him use. Cool. And lastly, we have vocal here. There is some noise in the intro, but we do have this vocal that is being modified by little altar boy. So this is being filtered. See, like slowly being filtered up. Lots of movement with the filter and all these EDM genres. Remember that. The effects that make it loud is this glue compressor, 12 decibels. Threshold, -12, and then the makeup gain is 6.8 decibels. That's making it nice and compressed. This Yo Man is just adding some stereo width on 21%. This verb rack, parallel processing. We have the dry chain here, so it's the dry vocal. And then we're having the dry vocal play in parallel, play together with the reverb version. The reverb version is a 98% dry wet with 890 milliseconds of decay. That's what this sounds like. It's the reverb. Then we have the dry. If you could tell, the dry is in the middle. The reverb is like wide. So we're combining those two signals. This reverb also has this extra auto pan. It's giving it like even more width. So you can keep this in mind. You can add the auto pan after a reverb. But the dry is being affected by this auto pan, which is different. This is like making it wiggle. Before and after. So it's like this. You can mess with the amount. I picked like 70%. Triplet, 124. Bass is all the way down. It's usually like this, but we turn it all the way down. It's just making it wiggle, making it a little bit cool. And this box group is usually not sidechained, but I added this duck buddy to make sure that it is being sidechained to the kick. Lows are being cut completely at 150. This delay will turn on in different sections. So like when the drop hits, we have this delay turn on. It's on 4, feedback's really high, so it lasts long. Dry and wet's low, so it's not too loud. And this is how we like make it fade out. I'll automate this on and off so that it fades out only on some of the sections. You know what I'm saying? We have another one here. A little different fade out. It's a longer fade out. This one's on 8 instead of 4. So I'll be doing that a lot with the vocals. Helps so much. I just got a random vocal and then I just chopped it up until I liked it. It is Complex Pro and it is pitch -8. That's really how I made this rhythm and pattern. But this section is a 4-bar section. This is the loop I made, and that just loops over and over again, which is basically like a vocal motif. So like this is like, these 3 are the same, and then this one's different. That's kind of how it goes. Easy. Easy peasy. There is one little bass here, a little bass pad. This is just like a cool pad that goes up. Nothing too crazy. That's just the preset. Oh, the reverb block. Mochakk does do a lot of like blocks like this, They sound like really blocky. So I just got a wooden block and something very similar. Using the 4th and the 5th here. Lots of reverb and Haas effect. We have a little bit of distortion. The Haas effect in parallel. We have dry and then the wide. A little bit of distortion. We have an amp, dry and distorted in parallel. The reverb. We have some saturation on the dry version, and then we have a huge reverb here. 3.6 seconds of decay. And then this EQ is just cleaning it up. Yeah. That's how we do it. That's how we get down, guys. Hope you guys enjoy this. I know this is different. This is the house music. This is tech house on top of that, but it's just sub heavy, bass heavy. I love it. It makes me dance. I hope you guys love it too. If you want more of this, leave the likes in the comments. Wait, leave the comments and the likes. Just comment about it. Like the video. Don't forget to subscribe. You guys are awesome. Remember, this is in the Patreon. Go get it. Have a good night. Stay fresh. Peace out.